We're with Cali K9. We're gonna train next to him, try to get some knowledge from him on how to do this dog training.
Come on.
I'm still new to this. He's an expert in this. And so, what are we doing today, man, with the dogs, man?
So we got a bunch of our young dogs out here. They are just pretty much new to the program. Really right now we're just working on that prey drive, really bringing the most out of them, really trying to work on that grip. All fun and games, no real pressure or any kind of defensive work. Right now we just want to make them crazy about the toy, make them crazy about possessing the toy, and really focus on the foundation and making sure that they have the proper grip and all of the essentials, because if you try to move fast, all this stuff too fast, then you'll have sloppy work,
So
right?
my question is then, do some of the dogs respond better with the rag or the soft sleeve or the ball? So how do you, which one you figure out?
Yeah, so it depends on the dog. Some dogs are just gonna go for everything, right? They're not sensitive about anything, they don't care, they'll just wanna bite, right? And then for some young dogs, when you put that big old pillow, they're trying to figure that out. So what it is, it's a gradual increase. You basically start with just like the rag, and then you go to say like a tug, and then from there you go into a soft sleeve, a harder sleeves, and you go into the suit.
Now are these beginners or these are intermediate?
Yeah, all these dogs literally have just started. They're probably on their third session out here. This guy actually in the middle is his first time out, so he's coming out just, right out the box. So happy to see, looking pretty promising. Again, all dogs, they range in temperament. Some of them have more drive than others. Some have better grip than others. Some of them are more, defensive than others. So it all just depends. Each dog is different. This is actually a Boerboel.
A Boerboel Mastiff.
Yeah, the bully.
That's an XL bully.
Yep. And
of course, that's the Dobie.
And the Dobie.
All right, let's see them work.
All right, let's get it. I want them to be comfortable biting. In this stage, it's okay with us being friendly, because I want them to bring out the most confidence.
So it doesn't matter if they're barking for it first, are they?
Not right now. The frustration will bring out the bark.
Yeah.
So right now, I just want them to focus on their desire for the toy, trying to bite it, biting hard, and then I bring more pressure, pulling more as they become more possessive over it. I need to let them win a lot, to let them figure out that this is my game, I own it. So for me, I pick fights and I lose. So when the dog puts the big effort out, he's gotta convince him that, yeah, that was strong, you win. Ooh. But if they bite lazy, we don't let them win.
I see everybody's holding the leash the same way, like they're in that bladed stance.
Yeah, well, it's key to have a nice solid base, because if not, the dog will pull you over.
Right. When you're playing with them, do you expect the handlers or the owners to like raise their decimal saying, good boy?
Yeah.
Or you say, good boy?
Well, we really want to have the dog, he should be your dog's biggest cheerleader.
Right.
So you need to really cheer the dog on. They feed off of that energy. And what you're seeing is this is our third round. So you're starting to see a little fatigue set in.
Yeah.
This is why we don't overtrain, because then the dog starts working lazy. This Dobie right here has a lot of energy though. So when you got the big dogs, a lot of times you got to really make sure they're in more cardio shape, because they burn out fast. The benefits of having a Doberman or a Malinois, Dutch Shepherd, they got so much energy. But then again, that energy, you have to dissipate that energy at the house too.
Yeah.
So it's energy every day. Whoa! Whoa! So see, when the barking comes, when the dog wants it enough.
Yeah.
So that's why we just build up that frustration.
No bark, no bite.
But some dogs are not barkers.
Right.
So, and sometimes, like an IGP, for like the open field guarding, a lot of people choose not to bark. So you get a better grip on the re-attack.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes all that bark is not necessary. You don't lose points for not barking.
Do you believe in treats or praise or both?
I believe in treats, praise, tugs, whatever it takes, whatever motivates the dog.
I love treats. I use treats. I use the dried livers, the dehydrated livers that you get from Costco.
Yeah.
Those are really, really good. Larry Hansen turned me on to that.
We leave them at a high note, right? Because when they come in, you notice they're getting stronger every time. And then we cap them. And they go, damn, I don't want to leave. You go, too bad. Then next time, bam, get them on another level. And then, so if we take them too much, then they start going down, and then the bite goes, right? Now they biting sloppy, and now you're reinforcing it. So if they win the bite, but they win it with a half bite, then you're basically saying, okay, that was like a half sit, and I rewarded you for that. So it's no different than all the obedience we've been doing. It's about making sure all the reps are clean and making sure that everything that they get, they earn it. It's not like we're giving it to them just because we want to work the dog until they're dead. We want to work the dog to where they're at that peak, and then for the next time, then I take them to another level, and then another level. And then again, understanding how to, build that frustration. If a dog comes with a little, like a halfway, not really putting out that effort, I'm not paying that, because then they'll think I could be lazy and still get paid. So you can only pay the high caliber behavior. Another reason is why I don't want you guys to out the dog so much, right? Because when you out the dog, right now we want bite, bite, bite. I don't want the dog thinking, I'm preparing to spit it out. I want the dog to say, I don't spit it out. I can teach it out. Our system is set up to where the out is absolute. Every behavior is absolute. So I never have to worry about the dog outing and getting overly possessive. I want them to be overly possessive, because then when it's time for them to teach the out, just based on our system. And a lot of dog training, a lot of people, this is why we don't repeat commands, right? Because if you get your dog used to hearing multiple commands and they're in drive, then they're going to check out on you. And they're going to say, oh, well, I don't have to listen because I'm going to say it again, say it again, say it again. But you don't have to sit there and fight with them trying to get the out because they've worked hard for it. And then you just want to take it away from them. That's not fair.
I've been wanting to ask questions. We can't sit down and talk because you're busy. But, man, how did you get on Netflix with that show, man, called K9 Intervention?
Because I do this man. You know what I mean? I've been heavy in this for a minute now. 15 years in the game. You know what I mean? Just started from the mud. And, taking advantage of social media. Through social media, I built a brand, built a following. People started to hear about me, started approaching some of the entertainers and athletes in the Bay Area where I'm from. Oakland is my soil.
The yay,
you feel me? And then, man, from there, we pretty much just, like I said, built that name. And I was actually down here servicing one of my clients. Shout out my brother, Andre Berto.
Right.
We was down here just working his dog, who's got a sibling to my dog. And just so happened, right place, right time, got introduced to the right people. And, they liked what they saw, man, and they wanted to see me on TV. So we ran the play.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it was fire. It was fire because I felt that, like, okay, he's in the city, he's in the town. He's not somewhere where we're in the hills and we're dealing with granolas and we're dealing with rescues from rich parents.
Right.
It was like, these are middle-class people that just want to have a dog that's civil, that's civilized, that's socialized,
Right.
And to me, I liked it. Now, I know there's politics involved.
There's a whole lot of hating involved.
Oh, big time. Politics involved, why it wasn't renewed. But question, I'm like Howard Stern. I like to ask questions. Do you still get like residuals every time it's played on Netflix? How does that work?
No, man. So, to be honest with you, when you get a show, a lot of times you just get paid per the episode, right? So they just give you a flat fee per episode, right? They put a lot of money into production. So, the beauty of it is I had a business in a structured situation that was already in place. So I was able to monetize it because all of the traffic and all those eyeballs were now coming to my social media. They are now coming to, my platforms. And, it just kind of opened up.
So one hand washed the other.
Yeah, exactly. And then the credibility factor, they see me, they see I'm helping dogs. They get to really dive into my system before they even come and do business with me. So they get a full understanding of what my whole program is about, my vibe, the culture of Cali K9. Yeah, man, it's just been a blessing.
President Joe Biden had a dog. And I think they was trying to figure out who was going to train that dog. And I think they was campaigning for you.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. That dog done bit like 20. You know what I mean? So, Joe Biden need to get it together because he ain't hollered at me, man. I tried. Yeah. I even tried to speak up, man, a couple years back and say, hey, man, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
But, hard hair made us all be the president.
So let me ask you this. So what really got you into dogs, man? I mean, animals in general.
Yeah, man, it's been a dog dude my whole life, since a kid. My parents was in the animals. My grandmother was a bulldog breeder. My mother, my mother and father had a wood refinishing and antique business where they kept dogs to protect the tools and in the warehouses and stuff. And moms was always just good with me, having dogs. And I just fell in love with dogs, cats, horses, all the domesticated stuff.
I love it when my ex-wife turned me on to cats, right? And I always didn't like cats because they're sneaky. But cats are, to me, one of the best pets other than a dog because you earn their affection. They don't just give it to you. And I remember when I got a cat for my own self, and then Stephanie had a cat before me, And one of her requirements are you gotta love cats, right? And every time I tell anybody I got cats at home, they say, "Oh, I got cat fever and I'm allergic to cats." I'm like, cut it out. You just don't want to be around them. My aunt said the same thing. She said, cause she's from Mississippi, right? She said, oh, you ever heard about cat fever? And she's like 78 years old plus 2. Oh, cat fever. She comes to visit me in California. She was talking about cat fever the whole time. And then all of a sudden in the morning time, before I do my cardio, guess who's with the cat? Animals, man, they give that vibe, man, that, I say this all the time. I said, animals, specifically dogs, do one thing for sure out of many that humans cannot do. They stay consistent.
Absolutely.
I mean, listen, I could be gone 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 months, and my dog still act like I just left 10 minutes ago.
Right.
Now, when he doesn't come to me in that fashion, all happy and stuff, I know something physically wrong with him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So to me, that's why I love animals. I always told people I'm gonna have 2 things in my life no matter what. A dog and a hybrid vehicle. You can't go wrong.
What about the Grand National? I thought you were gonna say
That's not a hybrid.
I thought you were gonna say old school, man.
I mean, think about it. Those things break down. It's sensitive. I'm like, you worry about it. It's getting stolen for 2 minutes at the gas station.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
So I'm gonna bring out Cisco. He's the 14-month-old. He's the one that has a lot of ultra energy, high prey drive. He's like a Malinois. I want you to check him out. This is Cisco. He's 13 months old. I got him for the week. But what I do with them is that I feed off their energy and I build up their confidence and I build up their prey drive. And I do all of that. It's like Mr. Miyagi, sand the floor, paint the fence. I do all that so that when it's time to do protection work, it all makes sense, right? So it's a game and they want to win and I want them to win. And so today is Dobie Day right now. I start all my dogs young. But see, I do that because I know signs in the beginning if they're gonna be built for what I want them to be, what I bought them for. If they don't have that instinct automatically, because remember, some of this stuff is genetic. They either have it or they don't, right? So if they don't have the signs that I want early on, not saying that it's an end all be all, but those are indicators for me to look out for. Because what I don't want to do is take a year to build ball drive. It's just, I'm not doing it. It's the intangibles you got to pay attention to. So I import all my dogs. It's very rare when I would get one from here in the United States, only because in Europe, the dogs have to have some kind of title to even breed through the club. Here in America, AKC doesn't require titles for people to put 2 dogs together to breed, right? So there's a little bit of requirements overseas. And the champion, listen, the dog come from Europe, man. That's where they from originally. So I want to make sure that I'm getting the original 11 herbs and spices. I don't want to just taste it. I want to know what the recipe is, man. What's it? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. I'm here with you. Good boy. Good boy. What's it? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Cisco.
You doing IPO with him, right?
Huh?
IGP?
Yeah. Good boy, Cisco. Yeah. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Cisco, no joke, man. And I'm keeping that line tight. Good boy. Good boy. Shut his bra. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
So we got to calm him down a little bit.
What do you think about the grip?
Huh?
What do you think about his grip?
His grip is good, but he's a little hectic.
Okay.
And this is freaking him out a little bit. So
Yeah, the whip.
I'm getting him used to it.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping him prey. But then I'm making this a little conflict behind me versus in front of me. So I'm gonna just work a little calm.
Okay. Good boy.
Good, I'm a counter.
Attack, good boy. Attack, good boy.
Counter.
Attack, good boy.
Tight.
I got it.
It's okay, buddy, it's okay.
Attack, good boy.
More loose. Attack.
Good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Saw this brow.
Tight. Loose. Good. Carry that. Tight. Tight.
Woo! Yahtzee!
Good, back up. Nice, come to me. Back up. Let him go.
Attack! Oh! Who needs to gym after this?
Ha! Yeah.
Ah!
Get that dog sitter.
Ah! Yeah! 360! You showing out.
Come on.
You showing out.
Put me on no goddamn camera, boy. I'm gonna give him a show. Drive, slow. Back up. Drive. Let him go.
Attack! You know what it is that every trainer has his own technique, but what I've noticed in this game is that you deal with some good trainers, you deal with some bad trainers, right? And I've had my fair share, so I know which one that I should or should not deal with. And I know that some trainers don't want to push the dog to his limit to try new things. I remember when I was with Wolfgang. I used to train Wolfgang when I was getting ready for my BH, right? Yeah. And Wolfgang was like, I was like, what are we doing? He said, we're gonna do something new. We're gonna do something different. And before you know it, my boy was doing dumbbells in 2 weeks. And then he was running blinds. Of course, the IPO one, you run one blind. Right. And he was just pushing the dog, teaching the dog something new. And what I was going with this is that some of the trainers I dealt with, they have the dog doing the same thing for a year and a half, 2 years. And what we call that sandbagging.
Sandbagging,
Sandbagging.
But they're going to just keep you coming.
Yes. And to me, that's not good business.
Nah.
Good business is that, as a trainer, you're really training the handler. Right? And so he or she is supposed to take that knowledge, grow on it, work on it while you're at home. Right. He wants you to be on your own at some point. He don't want you to be a lifetime classmate.
Yeah, codependent.
Yes. And so to me, it's like, that's what I love about coming here, and then I do Sykes and I do Lewis. I take bits and pieces from all of them, and I formulate what's good for me and my dog, for my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, man, it's amazing, man, because, you have to have a passion for this type of work, because there's going to be some good days. Like sometimes I wake up in the morning, man, I don't even feel like getting out of bed. But then, you got people who depend on you. That's how they pay their child support. That's how they pay their rent. That's how they live their life. And you, as a chosen one for your company, have to still come in there regardless whether you feel like it physically or mentally. And to me, it's like you gotta have that it factor. There's two types of people in this world: those that make things happen and those that watch things happen. And me and you are similar in the fact that we thrive at being uncomfortable, because comfort to me is always going to be the killer of all ambition.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why, man, I was like, when I saw the female dog, I was like, oh, this little heifer is doing A-frame and she's not afraid of the height and stuff, and she's still going in and she's taking the hits while she's still in the bite.
Yeah, well, I look at it like a street fight.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Not everybody's gonna do all the formal perfect moves and stuff like that. You might get punched in your mouth, you might get choked out, you might get flanked.
Right.
So the dog's gotta be ready for all that.
Yes.
And honestly, you know, all of the sport stuff is cool, but it's very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
You know, I like to hit them with a different angle. I like them to bite anything. I like them to bite on anything. I like them to go through anything. I like them to really just be very versatile. Now, for people who are very focused on the discipline, on particular sport, of course, they want to stay focused on whatever it is to get past the trial or whatever.
Right.
But for me, I like street dogs. I don't really care so much about all of the trials and all that stuff. I need a dog that's gonna work. And you know, this young lady right here, she's, you know, walking around the streets by herself. She needs to be able to have a dog that's gonna work for real, and not when they see just a sleeve, or not when they just see a field and a blind. That dog need to work on concrete, it need to work on dirt, it need to work on an elevated surface, it need to work on a slick surface. And that's what I think true dog training is, a versatile dog.
So let me ask you this. Out of all of the dog sports out there, whether it's Mondio, IGP, Ring Sport, PSA, which dog sport you think it has most of the things in there conducive to what you like your personal protection dog to be for you or your client? Would it be PSA, or would it be what is that?
KNPV.
KNPV?
Or APPDA.
Yeah.
Right? KNPV, the Holland Sport, or Belgian Ring. You know, but I think they all have their pros and cons.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, sometimes for ring sport, a dog, the decoy's always running.
Yeah.
You know, and all that little chatter stick for me don't seem like it's real stress.
Right.
Whereas you got KNPV, you got that rod, you slap it over the dog's head and you crack it. You know what I mean? That's a dog that's coming through some real pressure.
And I noticed like with the decoys for PSA, the decoys are not there to help the dog look good.
Right.
They're literally trying to get the dog to fail. Now with other sports like IGP, the decoys are in there to try to help the dog so he can pass that particular phase, from what I've seen.
Well, you got trial helpers and you got training helpers.
Right.
So a training helper, right? The name of the position is a helper. You're helping the dog, right? So when you're training, you're helping the dog become stronger. When you're trialing, you're helping the judge show this dog's weaknesses. Yeah. So in a trial for helper work, you should be trying to put that dog in that pipe. I mean, all of them you can put pressure on. But even with IGP, but see now they taking the stick hits out. They're doing all these things that actually show the toughness of the dog and the nerves of the dog and the fight of the dog. So a lot of this stuff gets very prey oriented, and now it's just any dog can play. For me, I like real dogs that can really handle pressure, because that's gonna be a dog that's gonna be ready for the street.
Now I know it's getting late, so I want to thank my man for allowing me to come here as usual.
All right, baby.
You know,
appreciate it, man. I'm trying to get like you.
Get a shirt on something. He gonna have this as what's that? The thumbnail. The thumbnail. We're gonna be looking right.